Hey everyone, what's up, all my hoodies? How y'all doing? How y'all been? It's your girl Tanya, aka the Hood Table, and we are here to do a review of Power, the spinoff, Raising Kanan, season 3, episode 1, premiere. Now it has been a minute, y'all. I swear it seems like every doggone season of every Power, it seems like 3 years be in between each season, but it ain't really that long, but it definitely feels like it. But anyway, it's been a minute since we've been here discussing season 2. So what I'm going to do is allow y'all to come on in, hit the like button, hit the share button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, please and thank you. But right off the top, y'all know how I always do at the beginning of a premiere. I give a little mini review of the last season, just a little bit of review for some of those who, be forgetting a little about, because again, there'd be a lot of time that be going on between these seasons. But anywho, back in season 2, I just want to start at the end of the season, around the time where Rock had realized that Juliana was basically not for her anymore. Rock, remember we saw her paying a visit to Juliana. You know, she's the girl from the bodega, the one who had got hemmed up by Neek, right? And so she went to visit Juliana and her cousin, and she started sweating Joe Kwan because he had sold her out. Because she knew that he knows better than that. But what has gotten into Juliana? Somehow she has been able to convince her cousin Jaquan that they don't really need Rock. And Jaquan all of a sudden decides to trust Juliana's business sense. Now Rock was like, this shit is not the business. This shit is not, really happening right now. Juliana is doing this only because she's pissed about Neek hemming her up. And remember when Juliana had came and approached Rock and said, you know what? Y'all got things squared away and everything, but he keeps coming up to the shop antagonizing me. Basically, she was scared, right? But she didn't look too scared then when Rock approached her, did she? But she was shaking in her boots at the bodega every time that Neek would come up in there messing with her. He was just playing with her mind. He wasn't going to do nothing else to her. But you know what? Rock told her, baby, you is not fighting in your weight class. So I am looking forward to season 3 to find out how that is all going to play out. Now, as far as Mr. Bingham, Nicole's father, the girl that Juke was messing with, the one who passed away from, the crack rock, he has basically been trying to get Juke to cooperate with him so that they could get, Detective Shannon Burke arrested, because he was under the assumption that, from some source that he hasn't revealed, but he was under the impression that Nicole had did something to his daughter as well as Juke, and he thought that he thought that Detective Burke had done something to Nicole, including giving her the drugs. But Juke finally, after I think just being pressured so much over the past few episodes before that, she finally just revealed it. Look, sir, look, mister. Um, Detective Burke didn't really have shit to do with your daughter's death. It was all my fault. She found the drugs, the rocks in my bag, and she smoked them joints. And so, therefore, I don't feel comfortable lying on Detective Burke. And so Juke then just got up from the diner, from the table at the diner, and he was looking at her like, what the fuck? So I'm sure this season and season 3 that Juke gonna wish that she never said anything, that she just kept that little secret to herself. But now, as far as Kanan, again, we doing a little recap on season 2. Kanan got busted slanging on the corner by Detective Shannon. And I was like, nigga, when you see other niggas running, that mean you run. But instead, he just sat there looking like, why is everybody running? And Detective Shannon Burke, she was pulling him over. We thinking he about to get arrested, right? About to get hauled downtown. She took him to the very spot where he shot his daddy, detective, his newfound daddy, Detective Howard, and proceeded to ask him, is this the spot where you shot your father? Detective Howard. She claims she know everything and that she knows his mother and Howard. They met when he was undercover, but Kanan wasn't falling for it. Not even when she accused him of trying to, murder his daddy. Um, and he definitely didn't want to know that anybody knew that his dad was a cop. And as far as he was concerned, he wasn't trying to hear Detective Burke say that his mama was also a snitch. But Kanan, after shoving Burke off of him, he managed to somehow get away, and he took off to his father's house, Howard. And he said the three of them, him, Kanan, and Rock, they need to sit down, corroborate a story for Burke so they can get her off their ass. Now, while Kanan was out there getting heat from Burke, his mama, she was at her crib fuming about everything that has been going on when Lou walked in. And I love me some Lou, y'all. I love me some Lou. He walked in and he was reeling over the fact of what he just learned about the bank. I know y'all remember. And in normal fashion of Raquel, she was acting like she does everything right and he doesn't do anything right. She does everything for him and he in return doesn't do shit for her. And in reality, a portion of his business, she actually, owned. She invested in. And his business wouldn't even be running right now, merely from the fact that she had invested in it. I mean, it wasn't like they were putting artists on the map, right? I mean, Juke, she can sing, right? And his girl, Ziza, she can sing too. But it wasn't like they was putting nobody on the map, right? So therefore, she felt it wasn't a problem, if she owned already or invested already in a portion of the business. If Crown was to somehow meet an untimely demise, why wouldn't she try to buy that portion out that Crown left behind so she could have the whole thing, right? But anyway, the way she came off at Lou, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And it was literally like, this brother of yours, he would probably die for you in a heartbeat without blinking. He has put down many bodies for you without thinking. And you're sitting here talking to him like he's a little peon, like he's way at the bottom of the totem pole in your organization. Not even like he's family. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Rock, child, I really think she is the biggest narcissist that I've ever known when it comes to a female. When it comes to a female. But one thing we did learn is that Rock, she was blaming herself for, messing up with Scrap. She had found out that, in fact, he was not snitching and that it was his mother. And I was like, what? His mama? Because I remember specifically when his mother had put up on somebody, I can't remember who it was, but she put up on somebody and she told them that Rock needs to make it her business to find out who put her son down. And I was like, ain't this some shit? Now we find out it's his mama? But overall, she didn't understand, why Lou was coming at her with some bullshit. She was like, let me make it plain for you. Let me make it clear for you. Let me make it simple for you. I own you, nigga. And the look on Lou's face, hearing his sister, who would, like I said, who he would probably die for without thinking, was speaking down to him in that manner. Child, I was like, ooh, he's about to drop a tear. He's about to drop a tear. But anyway, while Kanan and his father was trying to corroborate a story, every spot, every joint of rocks was getting lit up by the Italians, resulting in many deaths, including Unique's right-hand man, Worrell, which I hated. I hated to see him, though. I liked me some Worrell. I thought he was just so cute. Like a little button. I just thought he was so cute. But anyway, had I been like a 20 years younger. But anyway, as far as Kenya, her death though, that did not affect me at all. I mean, in a way, I was hoping that she and her daughter, Jude, would have some time, would have a chance to get things right with one another, that she could, really apologize to her and try to be the mom that she needs and everything. But fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. And even though Neek wasn't able to save his boy's life, he did manage to make it right in the nick of time to save Rock's life. And they was like, Southside, Jamaica, Queens for life. So that's my little mini review on the end of season 2. Now into season 3, episode 1 premiere, which is Home Sweet Home. Now Neek, aka Unique, his brother Ronnie, just got out of jail. Just got out of jail. And from what they say, this is somebody, a nigga that you really don't want to have shit to do with. He's wild. He fucks up. He just got out the jail. He just got out the clank, and he comes right home to his brother's house to stay with his brother. And why did he get out early? Because of a TB outbreak. His brother Neek didn't even know he was coming home, and Neek's girl Permissa, she had no idea that he was coming home. And if she did, I'm sure she wouldn't have wanted him to come to their home. But anyway, as happy as I know his brother is probably to be home, he definitely wasn't happy to hear that Neek was now under rock, claiming that he had put him in the CEO spot before he got locked up, only to come home and find out that he has been demoted down to entry level. But Ronnie, in his defense, he's been gone for a minute. He's been locked up for a minute. So he really doesn't understand. The people in jail, they do get a lot of, intel from the streets. But, when you've been gone for a long time, you really don't understand how shit has changed. I mean, we be having people come home from jail who be like, what? When I went in jail, we had a flip phone, and now we got like iPhone 10, 12s, 14s, 11s, and 35s. Like, you know what I'm saying? No more beepers. But yeah, so he come home and he thinks that, he's like, where did I go wrong? You know how we say that with our children sometimes. Where did I go wrong? Where did I fail you? But, again, he's been locked up for a minute, and streets have, definitely changed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to play into this whole, storyline. Now, as far as the police, though, Rock, she was under interrogation or questioning, however you call it. She was being questioned, by the police about the hit, on Rock, where her niece's mother, Kenya, got shot at her house and killed. And Rock also had to put down a few of the Italian guys. Now, Rock, she, her and Howard, they obviously came up with an idea to try to throw the police off. So Rock was like, it's just some white boys, some Shylocks, aka loan sharks. Basically she put it on Crown. Crown's no longer here. So she put it on Crown. He in the music business, he owed a lot of money to these loan sharks. They came to me because I invested in the business, and they wanted me to pay them for what Crown owes. And she's like, fuck that shit. I don't owe y'all shit. That ain't got shit to do with me. So they must have, wanted to take it out of her, get their money back one way or another. So yeah, she claims they rolled up on her, a week after they, told her that they wanted her to pay, and she didn't. And basically Howard kind of corroborated that story, like, yeah, Crown, he's in a lot of stuff, especially like in them projects, the projects that Rock was running through with all her drugs. They asked her about that too. Well, what do you know about Crown and Baisley Park houses or the South Jamaica houses? And, that's when Howard was like, yeah, he's always been in some crazy shit, drugs and things like that. So they really, was trying to throw the cops off. I don't know how far that will go. But in the meantime and in between time, I think they were like, okay with that explanation. Now, this is Shannon Burke. Detective Shannon Burke. Starting right off season 3, episode 1, she still was determined to get Howard locked up and put away underneath the jail, y'all. Not in jail, but underneath the jail, y'all. Oh my God, I couldn't stand me no Burke. I can't stand her. So anyway, at the beginning of the episode, Captain Baptiste, he had put her on, suspension, told her, basically whatever she's trying to believe about, Howard, she needs to put that out of her mind. She's going to lose her job. She could possibly end up in jail. He might be, involved in some type of things, but, she ain't got no proof. She ain't got no proof that he's involved in certain things. So he's like, you know what? I'm putting your ass on suspension. And as far as Rock, once Rock, she had came home, she sat down with Juke, she sat down with Marvin, she sat down with Kanan, and she started, apologizing to Juke about, the loss of her mother, Kenya. It wasn't her fault, but she, that was her niece. And even though Kenya wasn't shit, Kenya wasn't shit. She still felt bad, that her mother lost her life because her mother was coming to visit Rock and have a sit down with Rock. And we really don't know what that conversation would have been like. For all we know, she could have been like very apologetic. I want to start over. I want my daughter to give me another chance. I don't care if she's gay. I'm not going to have the pastors and the people at the church try to cast them lesbian, demons, as she called them, out of her daughter. So we don't know how that conversation would have went, but she did apologize to her daughter, and I mean to her niece. And then she also went into, telling them, I think I want to be out the game. Because at this point in time, it's costing her a lot more than she's willing to pay. She done lost a lot. At the end of last season, they lost a lot. And Kanan, he doesn't believe it though. Yeah, okay, we did lose a lot. A lot of people did kill. You lost your stash house and your drug house, all that kind of shit. But he doesn't believe that his mother is going to be out the game. So I am looking forward to seeing what Rock has planned for up her, what she has up her sleeves, what she's planning to do, in the near future. But he's also still pissed off because he doesn't quite understand still why his mother had him try to put down his own father, Detective Howard. And the only reason why he was really even at the jail was to help his mother and Detective Howard corroborate their story, about Crown. But he's still pissed off about that. And then finally, Marvin, he finally finds out who his real father is. He was like, "What the fuck is going on? What? I thought what? Hold on, wait a minute. I thought DefCon was his father. Like what? Hold on, wait a minute. That is not the he was child all these years. We've been thinking that DefCon is Kanan's father, and he ain't." He was like, I don't understand how DEFCON is, could possibly fit into this equation. But then, Rock, again, she had to come clean to Marvin. And she did basically tell him, you know what? Why would I want somebody to know that my child is the child of a cop? Because in the game that they in, we all know how that can go. A lot of times their ops will try to go after their children. And if the cops are out there in the streets doing some, shady type of stuff, they might try to come after their children as well. So I think she was smart, keeping it all to herself, keeping it a secret because, she didn't want anybody coming after her son because, again, we know how that all can go down. But then I was like, why the hell is Kanan still living with Famous? Like, out of all those drugs he was skimming from his mother's organization, he couldn't get his own spot. He couldn't get a nicer spot. And Fame wasn't doing shit. I'm like, I wonder how long was he able to hold off his landlord, because his landlord was giving him shit last. He was like, man, you need to either get your shit together and get the hell out of here. But anyway, I was like, Kanan, what all the money you done made, all that hustling, and you over here still at Fame's house, and Fame ain't doing shit. And Fame telling you that you need to find a way to get some bills paid, but obviously you the one that's been bringing the money in. But Kanan, you should have been thinking that I can do bad all by my damn self. But anyway, I guess Kanan had a plan. Later on, him and Fame, they dropped by on Simrad, to try to get some work. And I was cracking up at little Romeo. Ain't he cute? That little boy, he's so cute with the hair, the curly hair. He's so chocolate. I was like, oh my God, he is a darling. Okay. And he was cracking me up. You know how little kids is. They got their little slick mouth trying to be smart and shit on the slide. And his dad was like, boy, if you don't be quiet, didn't I tell you to stay out of grown folks' business? That they ain't grown, daddy. They ain't grown. And he wasn't lying. But how you going to tell him to stay out of grown folks' business when you sitting here right there discussing drug business right in front of your son while y'all playing video games. But anyway, Simrad was like, I don't know about this. You know, the cops, they still all about, they all over everywhere. They investigating, they questioning, they, interviewing. They trying to get to the bottom of this war. Trying to figure out what really happened. Did this shit really have something to do with this nigga named Crown? Or is it something else? Is it something else? So the cops are still all out and about. It's a no-fly zone over the area. And then on top of that, Simrad says, and I heard that Fame was a fiend. I was when I say I was cracking up because his son, again, Romeo, he is so cute. He was cracking me up. He's like, yeah, I heard you out there be copping, Fame. I heard you be copping. He's like, nigga, didn't I tell you to stay out of grown? Didn't I tell you to stay out of grown folks' business? But yeah, his son, he is so cute. He is so cute. But yeah, he was like, nah, I'm not convinced. I don't think I should be working with y'all. And even though Kanan told him, you know what, that ain't really had nothing to do with us, that was partially true. It was because it really wasn't Kanan, and Fame that had something to do with that, but it was Kanan's family. So he was partially telling the truth. But, regardless, Simmer was like, nope, can't do it. Can't do it. And then after all, he was like, I only got so much time to spend with my son Romeo. And he's trying to make it as meaningful, as possible. So y'all need to get the hell out of here, brother. Get the hell out of here. So I can spend some time with my son. Trying to keep him out of grown folks' business while I'm talking grown folks' business in front of him. Trying to keep this shit meaningful. That whole scene, that was a hoot. That was a hoot. But anyway, as far as Scrap, who we know was killed last season by Rock, neither Marvin or Lou, they felt comfortable, doing it. So she did it. She did it. Rock has a heart, but don't have a heart. You know what I mean? Y'all feel me? If y'all been following this since episode 1 of season 1, y'all understand. To the people who really, really close to her, she does have a heart, but when she thinks that she's been stabbed in the back, or hoodwinked, or somebody try to trap her or something like that, set her up, that all goes out the window. That all goes out the window. But again, as far as Scrap, while telling Marvin, what Rock had said that had been a mistake, Marvin doesn't seem to, it's like I'm kind of confused now as well, because again, Rock is like, his mama was the one snitching. But then last season, his mama was the one demanding that Rock find out who the killer was, right? And so I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway, Lou is trying to explain, they trying to explain to each other, what Rock is really talking about. And Marvin was like, well, I don't know if I should believe it or not, because when he came to his cousin's house, because remember when Scrap said, I was up there, hanging up pictures or hanging up something at my cousin's house. And Marvin's like, well, how the hell you hanging up shit? You got one eye, nigga. How you keep your eye focused on a hole, a nail, a hammer? And then when they went to the cousin house, the girl was like, I ain't hung on no picture since like 1982 when I hung up I don't even know what artist that she said, but the last time she hung up a picture on her wall, it was a long time ago. So he was under the impression that, yeah, Scrap was lying. Yeah, he doing some shit behind it. Yeah, he's snitching. So y'all let me know, how y'all feel about that situation. Rock claims it was a mistake, but one of her brothers believed that Scrap didn't deserve to die, and that's Lou. And Marvin believes he lied, he deserved to die. So again, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, as far as Lou, he's really in his feelings still, about how Rock, has been speaking to him, how been treating him. And he's trying to convince Kanan, Rock don't care about nobody but herself. That might be your mama, but she don't care about nobody but herself. And again, I don't think that's totally true. I just feel that, she has a heart, but if she feels, pushed or like somebody's trying to hurt her or cause harm to her, she turns very, very cold. And yeah, she did put down one of her son's boys, D Wiz, and she did put down Scrap. But again, I think she has a lot of love for her family. And I think she real in the end, even with all the arguments they get in and disagreements, what I'm saying, I think she would still put her life on the line for any of her family members. But Kanan, he wants him to realize ain't shit no different. Ain't shit no different. You might know your mama, you might think you know her well, but she had you try to kill your daddy. She had you try to kill your daddy and still ain't told you the reason why she wanted you to kill her daddy, your daddy. But anyway, meanwhile, Jukebox, she was at a meeting, with her career counselor, and the counselor was trying to convince her, singing is not the way to go. That's not a career. It's just a pastime. You need to go to McDonald's or the military. Laverne, aka Juke, was not trying to hear that, especially, when she's going through a lot right now. Losing her mother, not once, not twice, but losing her mother for the third and final time. This time is for good that she lost her mother. And I think it really hit her hard, when she was at her father's house or their house. And, I think it hit her hard when she realized that her mother had a box of things, of items for her. She had her name on the box, and I guess the church had sent it over, or had it sent over, or whatnot. And her dad was telling her, you know what, if you want to go to the funeral, I'll be there with you. I'll go with you. But when she saw those items in that box, that's when she really broke down. Really broke down. But one thing I can say is I can totally admire, how her father Marvin has changed a lot for the better. Now he still will get down and he'll get grimy and he'll rock a nigga to sleep, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to his relationship with his daughter, he's learned his lesson after last year, when he jumped on her. Child, that was so hard for me to watch. Whoo, last season when he jumped on her, when he found out that she was lesbian, of the lesbianage, and he did not like that. He jumped on her. I'm like, your daddy jumping on you for it, your mama trying to get the demons cast out for you. Is this a demon? They put her through holy water on her. They try to do an exorcism. I'm like, the child can't win. The child just can't live. But anyway, he's definitely, trying to put regardless of his feelings about her sexuality, he's not really an emotional person, but he's trying to, his heart is to be there in the best way that he know how. So I can appreciate, that for him. But yeah, she didn't make it to the funeral. He did, while she sat home going through the box and going through all the pictures of her and her mother. So I don't know what this is going to do to her, losing her mother for good, how this might change you. Will it be for the better? Will it be for the worse? We all know basically how Juke turns up later in life. But in that in between time is what I'm referring to. But as far as back to Detective Shannon Burt, she was getting chewed out by her dad really tough. He was yelling and screaming at her. She didn't like that shit at all either, because of the fact that her captain had reached out because out of concern. Her father was concerned. Her captain is concerned that she wouldn't put that Howard shit behind her. Trying to still put Howard behind bars because they thought, she's going to end up losing her job. You still on suspension. You still, won't let this go. So not only suspension, but you could lose your job. And you could end up in prison about that. So he's chewing her out, telling her they need to go down and talk to the captain and try to work this all out so she can get back there on the beat, right? They are so tired. Her father, the captain, her girl, what's her name? Adina or some shit? Even her girl is like, I am so fucking tired. It's Howard, Detective fucking Howard, all damn day. Her girlfriend was like, my mother is going to die within the next year. I'm not about to keep sitting around here coddling you, over some damn Howard. So yeah, they really was trying to, get her from being a fix on that shit. But Bert, she wouldn't let it go. And unexpectedly, she got a call from Howard saying he wanted to meet up with her so he can tell her everything that she wants to know. And when he got inside her car, he basically told her, it doesn't matter what you know, it doesn't matter what you don't know. I don't give a damn. I'm just here to help you keep your job. I'm here to save your job. But was that good enough for Burke? Nope. And from what Burke revealed to Howard, she was convinced she knows everything. From him working undercover back in the day, to him sleeping with Rock back in the day when she was 16, to him knocking Rock up back in the day, to him having Rock as his informant back in the day, to Rock putting the baby on DEF CON back in the day because, again, she didn't want nobody out there to know that her child was a child of a cop. That would have been probably been detrimental to her. But to keep the world from knowing her son was a child of a cop, she kept that a secret for a long time from everybody. But what Burke didn't understand was how he found out he was the father and why Kanan tried to kill him. And even though she knew that he had Sam killed, before she could say anything else, he blew her brains right out of the driver's side window. I was like, damn, I knew, I had a feeling he was going to be the one to hit her. I had a feeling because when he told Rocky Kanan, I'm going to take care of her, I was like, I wonder how he going to take care of her. I wonder how. And I had a feeling it was going to be, but I didn't think he was going to do it right there in her car. She was like, and I know you killed Sam. Bam. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, he tried to save your job, girl, but you couldn't let it go. You could not let it go. And then thank God Howard found a recorder in her car, that she was using to record him, because otherwise somebody would have also heard that loud gunshot leading to her non-existence. But you just couldn't leave well alone, could you, Bert? Couldn't leave well alone. Anyway, back to Neat. Whoo, child. I think this was the best part of the show. Niece girl from her, how you say her doggone name? Pernissa? I don't know. Child, let me not talk about that name because there's probably somebody out there with that name today. So Pernissa, we're gonna put some respect on her name. Anyway, niece girl Pernissa, she was extremely concerned, about his brother Ronnie, who just came home from prison and came home to stay with them. And being that Worrell, Neek's right-hand man who was, killed last season by the Italians, being that he had left behind a son and a daughter, she didn't want to be, around no more drama. She didn't want, it's enough that she got to deal with Neek and all the shit that goes on with the organization. But his brother, fresh home from prison and under their roof, she wasn't trying to have that. And she's definitely not trying to become a single parent like Worrell's baby mamas, because he left a daughter and a son behind. But Neek, he claimed he had a plan. I did not expect that plan to include going over Rock's house and having sex with her. I was gagged. I was at a loss of words, y'all. I mean, especially after he just left his girl at home, promising her that everything gonna be okay. I got a plan. I know she also didn't think that he had plans going over Rock's house and sleeping with her. Should I have seen this coming though? Maybe. But Rock seemed to me that she really had no interest in him at all. I mean, they both had it out for each other. They both was trying to kill it. They both wanted each other dead, not so long ago. So I didn't see that coming. I'm just being honest. I didn't see that coming. But then again, with the way things are right now, who does Rock really have? Her son don't really fuck with her. Lou, they got into it big time. I mean, a lot of her people got killed. I mean, what does she really have left at this moment? Who does she really have left? Now, is this like a play, for him to hook up with Rock? To maybe put him on top? Because his brother did say, I left you as CEO only for me to come home and see you, you ain't nothing but a little peon now, under Rockzilla. You ain't nothing but a little peon now. You been demoted all the way down to entry level for Rock. So I don't know, y'all. Y'all think this is a play, or do y'all really think that he is really feeling Rock? Y'all let me know, y'all. Let me know. And again, everybody, y'all make sure y'all like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the Hood Table. I will be coming back with you with a review of season 3, episode 2 shortly. So make sure y'all check for that too. And have y'all notification bell selected so that y'all don't miss any time we go live or anytime we update any videos or upload any videos, I should say. Also, if you feel so inclined to bless your girl, my birthday coming up too on December 29th. Oh yeah, check out my community wall because I do have a Amazon link there, wish list for my birthday. So if y'all do feel inclined to bless your girl, whether it's just for my commentary on the reviews or for my birthday or anything like that, or just because, $ the Hood Table 402, or you can again go to my community wall and look for my wish list on Amazon for my birthday. And on that note, you guys, stay safe, be blessed, remain vigilant at all times, and always remember to keep it hood. I'm out.